What's going on, everybody? I appreciate all of you hanging out, waiting on the stream to start. For those of you watching replay, though, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. When we do these live chats, you can take part right along with us. So I had a lot of stuff come in today. A lot. Very large two-order plus some fragrance, some Middle Eastern fragrances for a collaboration video. Big package from Fragrance Buy. We're doing 4 of them. The 4 I was most excited about that I bought: Beau Paradise Garden, Le Male Lover, Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir, H24 Hermes Vives. I didn't want to do too many, but I wanted to do the main ones I was most excited about. And then on top of that, this came in this morning. I did a first impressions video. I did a scent of the day shorts video. This was wafting beautifully off of my hand at the gym, so I had to wear it as my scent of the day. I got 4 more sprays around the neck. Wife loves it. I love it. This kills the original. Those of you that don't know what this is Desir Toxically Intense, the new release from Micallef. They sent it my way. This is now my favorite Micallef fragrance. It's damn good. It still has the original scent profile plus a lot of mint. Loads of mint leaf, not spearmint gum, not toothpaste, not any of that crazy synthetic mint. It smells like a lot of mint leaf to me. Very green. I get loads of incense, even though there's no incense listed. It still has the cannabis note per their website, not Parfumo, because I smelled it. I was looking at Parfumo in the video, and I'm like, I still smell the cannabis note, but it's not listing it. But the spice is freshened up by the mint. Like, there's a bunch of cinnamon here, but it's a fresh cinnamon smell because there's just so much mint. Still got plenty of black currant. The black currant spice start to come out a lot as it dries. I love this. I gave a 9 out of 10 first impressions rating. I'm ready to bump it to a 9.5, just, having it on for, shit, that was at 9 o'clock this morning. It's 4 o'clock now. 7 hours later, I'm ready to bump it a half a point to 9.5. You see how excited I got to tell you guys about my scent of the day? I love this. Is damn good. Get a sample of this. It is redundant if you have the original. It's the original with, it's a louder version of the original with a bunch of mint. That's the most simple way I can explain it to you. It smells like the original. It's louder. That's the intense side of it. It's just louder. A lot louder, too. My wife said, ooh, that's strong. With a bunch of mint. So sample it. Encourage you. Sample it. It's so good. So good. I was surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it that much more, but I would take that 10 out of 10 times with the original. I couldn't tell you the next time I'm going to wear the original, because if I get in the mood for Desir Toxic, I'm going to want to wear this one. So sorry about the quick tangent, but I was really excited to update you guys from this morning. Like, now that I've spent several hours with it, I'm loving this fragrance. So I see we're starting to get a decent crowd. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way in, because it does matter. It does make a difference. So let's get caught up in this chat. So, my man, I'll be straight with you. When it comes to you wanting to be here, I'm not going to set it back an hour, because there's a reason I set them at the certain times that I set them at, because that's the earliest I can get to these live streams. So if you want to be here, you just have to stay up late, my man. For those of you who didn't know, it's like right now, it's like midnight for him where he's at in the world. So sorry, my man. If you want to be here, you either got to stay up late or just watch the replay where you can't engage with live chat, man. I don't know what to tell you, because my days are so much busier than they were before I was in contest prep, that an earlier stream just ain't going to happen. I used to be able to do 2-3 o'clock Central, where that would have been better for you, but not since I'm in prep. Once I'm back in the off season, my training schedule is going to change greatly. I could probably go back to 3 o'clock Central for the live stream, but for now, kind of is what it is, my man. Conde Parfum Cologne Blue. I've never heard of that one. Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum, my favorite of the bunch. I think so. I hope so. It's been a great day so far. Having a great day. Tony Iommi Monkey Special, Invictus Victory Elixir, Joel, good to see you. Liquid Imaginaire's Fleuve Tendre. Tarathi Blue, first wearing, and that opening is fucking great, because that's with all the T's. He means it's really, really good. So glad you like it, man. The opening is phenomenal on that. It's great. Givenchy Pour Homme, never tried. Kevin, good to see you. Be an awesome stream. Send today Aqua de Parma Fico di Amalfi, great. I have several from the line. I think if you're in a warm climate or have a warm summer, tropical area, beachy area that you live, having at least a few of them is kind of a must for somebody that's into fragrance. That's how I view that line. Looking forward to this one. Louis Vuitton's Nuevo Monde. How you been, Ross? Polo Blue Parfum, excellent choice. Chilling with nice 60-degree weather. Shorts, t-shirt, sandals. Perfect day and loving it. Well, glad you're able to make it. Sounds like you're having a great day, Jay. Dilly says, thank you for all the birthday wishes. Started my day with business over pleasure and ended it with eating mystique. Sounds like a man with great taste to me. Safe to say I smelled phenomenal all day. I agree. My amazing girlfriend gifted me a Ventus cologne for my birthday, which it is his birthday today. So y'all make sure to let Dilly know happy birthday. Or was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or today. I think it was yesterday. Either way, it's his birthday right now. So can we get a soft clap for which Jay did so, as did I and Joel? Fitness question. How long do you rest between sets for compound movements like weighted pull-ups and bench press compared to isolation movements like bicep curls? What's best for hypertrophy? So everybody responds differently to different training philosophies. For me, on compound movements, probably 2 to 3 minutes. As it gets heavier, the lighter feeder sets, as I like to call them, as you're working your way into your working sets, because you always want to start lighter and warm yourself up into the movement. Because even though, let's say you might have warmed your chest up with some flies already, you didn't warm your chest and your shoulders and everything up and your lats really for a pressing movement. You know what I mean? So you want to start lighter and kind of feed into it. Like you might, to properly warm up, you might do 3 feeder sets before you get into 3 working sets, and you do 6 sets total. But the first 3 sets, you weren't really exhausting yourself. You know, you want to do a set rep range. You don't want to go to failure. You're just kind of warming the tendons, the muscles, the joints. You're getting everything in the motion, pyramiding up into it. So for those, you don't need as much rest in between. But heavy compound movements like deadlifts and stuff like that, flat bench with a barbell or even flat bench with a dumbbell, anything like that, I would say 2 to 3 minutes is probably a good rule of thumb, but everybody's different. It's a feel thing is what it comes down to. Do you feel like you rested too long? And it depends on your goal, because if you're trying to build mass, honestly, longer rest in between is going to benefit you, because you're going to gain back as much strength and muscle stamina. You're going to gain back much more with a long, like say 3 or 4 minutes in between sets, because you're giving your muscles that much time to recuperate. So you'll be able to exert more energy for the next set. Whereas if you were to do a 1 minute, 60-second rest on flat bench, you're not going to put out as much in the next set as you could have if you'd have waited another 2 or 3 minutes. So that's just a good rule of thumb, but it comes down to feel. Great question. Thank you for asking. $5 super chat from Jay. I appreciate you, sir. Bond number 9, Lafayette Street. Tommy Bahama Maritime Voyage. Good to see you, sir. Dan, not the man wearing vintage radio from Latafa. Paradise Garden should be here Thursday. Silver Mountain Water. I'd like to get that in the rotation. I got a bunch of niche stuff lined up for this week. I was going to wear Sense of Humor today, but I ended up going with the Sear Toxic Intense. Thinking Kalan and Elissimo Intense the next couple of days. Like I don't know, just randomly I saw these and was like, I don't want to wear those. Is that how it's going to shake out? We'll see. But that's the plan. And the plan is like wrestling, card subject to change. You never know. Gallivant Berlin, never tried it. Good to see you, though. Argos Pour Homme, smash that like button. Jeff, good to see you, sir. 9 p.m. It's pretty hot in Central Texas today, so I went with just a few sprays, not wanting to choke others out. That's fair. Kajira, good to see you, my man. Feb Delish from Dior. I'm still feeling pretty strong, but damn, calorie deficit is dropping my working set weight. Well, you're going to lose weight. I mean, you're going to lose strength is what I meant to say. You're going to continue to lose strength. My recovery is starting to get slower. Checked in this morning with my coach. We didn't change anything because I'm kind of pacing like 1.5 pounds every check-in, which is every 5 days. Like I'm dropping 1.5 pounds on the scale, and then visually everything's tightening up and leaning more and more. So we're going to go another 5 days without changing anything. No high carb day this week, more than likely beginning of next week. So my high carb days look like they're going to be spaced about 1.5 weeks apart. So stay in baseline with me, but I'm starting to lose a little bit of strength. Volume's still there. Intensity's still there. So I feel your pain. Strength loss is definitely going to come. Good to see you, Ethan. Good to see you. Citrine, super hyped to hear about Paradise Garden. We're starting with Paradise Garden, by the way. We're at the 10-minute mark. We got 120 people here already. Make sure to hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. It does help. For those of you who just got here, Never tried it. Green Irish Tweed clone. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Further into the future, 56 Soul. So Justin's many flankers later, according to him. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit. Excellent choice. That's the one to beat. I don't know if I'm gonna like Paradise Garden more. I'm confident I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'll like it more. We'll see. Oolong Cha, great choice. I wore that last week. So, guys, Kaylin, I see you, my man. Justin, I see you. I see all of you guys. I'm having to skip ahead. Clinton, I see you. So, I'm sorry, guys. No, it is definitely not. I would strongly suggest sampling that first. That $300+ fragrance is not a safe blind buy. Even if it was a $50 fragrance, it's still not a safe blind buy. All right, let's see. I don't think it's too much for it, honestly. It's so like there's density and depth, and it's a lot of black currant, a lot of cinnamon, things like that. But it's just it's stronger than the first one, but it's not thicker and heavier than the first one. The intensity is that just its projection. It's louder. It's a louder fragrance. It's not a heavier fragrance. It's a fresher fragrance. It's weird the way it worked out. It's fresher, but it is more intense because it's just stronger. But it stayed true to the original formula. Like there's tweaks, more additions than anything. There was nothing that was taken away from it. There was additions. Great move. Great move. I'm going to give it a shot in the summertime. Summer evenings, probably. Indoors. Maybe not high heat, middle of the day, and the humidity. Probably not the best choice. But I don't think it's the worst choice either. So, Roy, good to see you, sir. Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir today. Don't tell me nothing. We're going to be opening that in a little bit. I don't. And I don't have an issue with performance. I get very faint similarity to Terre de Hermes because it does not have an earthy, smoky vetiver. There's nothing earthy about Isola Blue. The thing people are talking about, I guess, is the citrus at the top, which Isola Blue's got a sweet green citrus feel. Like there's so much more going on than Terre de Hermes has going on, and it doesn't have the same base as Terre de Hermes. So more power to everyone that thinks Isola Blue and Terre de Hermes is the same fragrance. They're not to me, but that's to me. Maybe I'm in the majority and I'm wrong. I don't know, because I'm sure everybody that feels that it is very similar to Terre de Hermes would say I'm wrong, and more power to each one of you. That's just how I feel, just like that's how you feel. Now, and I don't mean you, RJ. I mean the people that are making you ask this because you've read that across the internet. I know exactly where you're getting that from. I would encourage you to sample it so you can come back and tell me, man, these people are crazy. It's just the opening's a little bit like Terre de Hermes. So do that for me. Get a sample, and then I'm confident you'll come back to tell me that. I'm confident. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Paul? Good to see you. So let me skip ahead. I want to get going. We got so many comments in the chat. It's great to have all of you here. It really is. I appreciate you. I just want to dive in. I hate to skip all these comments. Ryan, I see you. Greg, I see you. I see all of you guys. So here we go. Scrolling down. Cody wearing Viking cologne. Excellent choice. I'm kind of skipping down and catching them on the way. The Bishop's in the house. Good to see you, Jared. Oh, geez. Here we go. Noah, I guess you renewed. Been hella busy. Happy I could make it. Send of the day, Toy Boy. Good to see you, my man. When can we get in here, USA, besides eBay? I needed ASAP. Well, I mean, they had a stock of it several days ago from Fragrance Buy. That's where all of us bought it from. That's where, and it sold out 5 minutes, maybe. They had the 75 mLs and the 125 mLs. I would say 5 minutes tops. It's gone. I'm sure they had a lot of bottles too. So excellent choice, Jared. Sauvage Elixir. Dior Sauvage Elixir, hell no, buddy. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Oh, he must be talking to Sam, and yes. Yes, it is. I don't know what the hell this dude's talking about. Where is he at? Josh Payne? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. If he's talking to you anyways. Dior Sauvage Elixir, hell no, buddy. Try it for yourself. Go to a department store and check it out, and then come tell Josh he's crazy. Josh just doesn't like it, is what it comes down to. I'm glad to see you, Josh. Glad you're here. Just hell no, that's a pretty strong stance for your opinion versus him asking an opinion. You know what I mean? I personally think it is, but only you can be that judge, Sam. Go to a department store and get it on skin, my man. Neither me nor Josh are right. It's just our opinions. Okay. To me, is Ministry of Oud satin good? Does it last long? Man, many say it doesn't. I got a full review on it. Feel free to go check out the full review, man. It's a monster. It's a baby powder bomb, though. If you don't like hella powdery, be wary. It's a baby powder bomb. Well, it's not jail. it's a waiting period to make sure that you really want to be here. It's to lower the amount of trolls that come into the live chat because most of them can't fathom subscribing to me for 2 weeks. It just hurts their pride. Some of them do, and they just get blocked after the first comment. But that's what it's for. Victory Elixir, great choice. Binging your channel hard, man. I appreciate that. You, sir, are the Joey Swole of the fragrance world. That's a huge compliment. Not everybody here knows who Joey Swole is. I appreciate that. With a stronger hat game, yeah, I would definitely say I got a stronger hat game than Joey Swole. Shout out to Joey Swole. Between you and Michelle, I'm going to be perma-poor. Perma-poor. I've never heard that phrase before. That's kind of interesting. All right, man, I can just sit here and do the chat the whole time. Let me skip ahead, guys. I'm sorry. No, I said Assad's a better buy. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you meant Elixir is just not a good buy in 2024. I'm like, man, that's crazy talk. Elixir smells great. But again, like I was saying, it's just our opinions. But Assad for the money, I'm not going to argue that. I mean, for like 25, 27 bucks, whatever it's going for right now, I sure like it. It is really good. If you don't want to spend Sauvage Elixir money, it's not 1-to-1, but it's pretty damn close and it performs great. It smells good. So, all right, we are going to dive into this. I am stopping. Sauvage Elixir is one of the best. I see that comment. All right, I'm stopping. Shut it down. I can't wait to smell this. I can't wait because my favorite Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance is Le Beau Le Parfum, its predecessor. I know there's ginger, and I forgot what else. There's some changes to the notes, obviously. That is hilarious. It's got this leafy patch glued to his crotch. That's hilarious. It's a shame I don't keep stuff like this anymore. They just take up a bunch of space because the canisters are actually nice, especially when they put all of this print. Got peacocks and dragons and all kinds of stuff in these tropical colors. It's nice. Le Male Essence de Parfum, one of the old batches came in. It's right over there, the one I dropped $220 on. Yes, I spent $220 on a Le Male flanker. I'm ridiculously crazy, apparently. But here we go. Paradise Garden, ever since this got announced, even when it got rumored. So there was a potential for it being Le Beau Elixir, which I still think we might get next. But I'm excited for this. I've heard it's a bit more green, obviously, just like the color scheme would indicate. So I have this here Toxic L'Intense still on my hand from 9 o'clock this morning. It is still going. So all 4 of these fragrances, we're going 2 on the bottom of the forearm, 2 on the top of the forearm. I'm still not completely comfortable spraying on the tattoos that have been reworked. Obviously, this is the newest one, but this got recolored. This got touched up. The skin's just about done peeling in certain areas, like an aquaphor at night and everything. So probably still not going to spray right there. So we're going to have 4 fragrances on this arm. Well, that was plenty. Second try, put plenty out there. Try not to breathe through my nose yet. Just through my mouth. I don't want to know yet. I want the alcohol to wear off a little bit. I prefer the contour to the Le Beau bottles, the way the torso is, versus the Le Male. Le Male is more rounded. This is more boxy shaped. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, aesthetically better, I think. Ooh, that's a lot of ginger. A lot of ginger, and I do get the coconut right away. It's a little on the green side, as I anticipated, but a lot of ginger. This is more of a, it's not as crisp and bright of a ginger, and it's not like super spicy. It adds spice, but it's like fresh cut ginger. Like, you know, the actual smell of ginger when you're cutting it up to cook with it. That slightly earthiness to it. I get that. Kind of a slightly earthy, lightly spiced ginger. A little creamy. More creamy than crisp, and it could be the coconut working with it, making it creamy. A little bit of the sunscreen feel. That's clearly the synthetic coconut. This is not as lively as something like Le Beau EDT or Le Beau Le Parfum. Those are super sweet, fresh, very, very tropical, where this is still tropical, but earthy. Hence the name Paradise Garden. The name makes more sense because it's still tropical, paradise, and it's got some earthy tones to it, grassy green. This ginger note really does come across a bit earthy, the garden side of the name. So they're clever with the name here and the color scheme. It's not just slapping a name on a fragrance. It actually makes sense for the scent profile. It's not floral, but there's earthy green tones to it. But it's still bright and tropical and a little bit of sunscreen. It seems to be pretty strong too. At least this initial blast is pretty strong. I do like it. I don't know if I like it more than Le Beau Le Parfum though. I think I still like the Le Parfum more. I think that's still my favorite until further notice. I mean, this is just 1 minute into me smelling it through a couple wearing experiences. As, like I said a moment ago, card subject to change. Same thing applies here. That might change. Might end up liking this as my number one. I like this more than the EDT because it's more interesting. The EDT is very simple and straightforward, and it's a great fragrance. It's a beautiful base for this line. Le Beau EDT is a great base to flanker from. Because so far, so good with the two flankers that they've done. Le Beau Le Parfum, fruity, green, tropical, very sweet. This is earthy green, tropical, and not like crazy dirty. When I say earthy, I mean more like woody tones, darker woody tone, green, and that it's specifically this ginger. So let's go ahead and pull these notes up because I don't recall, aside from one time, when we did a split screen with iFragrance, looking at the notes. Oh, I want to pull up the split screen. Le Beau Paradise Garden, 7.1 out of 10, 348 ratings. A lot of people are rating this one already. It just came out not long ago. So fresh, sweet green, fruity synthetic, coconut water, tonka bean, green fig. That makes sense. Sandalwood, ginger, mint. So the mint's the green that I'm getting, and apparently green fig. I guess that's adding. The fig here isn't super juicy, and the tonka bean's not crazy powdery. Like, it's not as powdery as its predecessors, especially the Le Parfum, which that has an iris note that adds to the powderiness, but it's a little powdery, but not as powdery as the Le Parfum. That's a more powdery fragrance. This fig is a little on the bitter side, I would say. And maybe that's kind of what's helping to blend to give me this kind of slightly earthy feel. But green, sweet, fresh, fruity, synthetic, I agree with all of that. I do. I would probably put sweet at number 3 because I think it's greener than it is sweet. And synthetic, sure, it is synthetic. All three of them are. I mean, Le Beau Le Parfum is more synthetic smelling than this. This is synthetic, though. Nothing natural about these Le Beau fragrances. You gotta be okay with unnatural smells and synthetic. Because look, synthetic's not necessarily a bad thing when it's said about a fragrance. It is getting a little spicy, but it's not a very spicy ginger. All in all, it doesn't put me in my feels the way the Le Parfum did, but it does get me a bit more excited and interested than the EDT. And where I think the Le Parfum's a 9 out of 10 fragrance, I think Paradise Garden's an 8.5. I think this is a great fragrance. I think 8.5 out of 10 is more than fair for a first impressions rating for this one, for how I'm feeling about it right now. I'm eager to wear this one, but at the same time, I'm very seasonal, and I have a little bit of somewhat not too hot of weather going that I still want to wear some heavier, spicier stuff. Hence why I want to wear Cologne tomorrow. So I might hold on to this one a little bit longer before I really start putting in the rotation. I don't know. I kind of really want to wear it right away, though. But there's so much stuff I got in recently that I want to wear right away as well. So play it by ear kind of thing. But I think Le Beau Paradise Garden, 8.5 out of 10. I think it's got more of an earthy tone than this would lead you to believe. Could just be on my skin. It's the way I think the culprit here is the way the ginger comes across. But it's a great fragrance. Absolutely 8.5 out of 10 to me. Let's get caught up in the chat, and then we'll dive into Le Male Lover next. Congratulations to you, Roy. No, it's definitely not cheap, but it's my favorite fragrance. $450 was it? Oh, wow. Damn, you can get in the 200s here. Bottle of Magic is worth it, though. That's impressive for that price, though, man. Whew. Dan, good to see you. Black Anubis from Sphinx. Excellent choice. Welcome, Christian. Le Beau Intense works great here in South Texas. Is Paragon? No, I don't think it's super redundant. I think they twisted the DNA enough to kind of make it its own thing. The two tying in factors here is the tonka bean and the coconut. Aside from that, I mean, the fig, the mint, the ginger, the sandalwood, that's all additional notes. There might be sandalwood in Le Parfum, but the fig, the ginger, and the mint, big time difference makers in this scent profile. It still smells like it belongs in the Le Beau family, but it's its own fragrance. That makes sense? Tried to make sense out of my thoughts anyways. Appreciate you, champ. Really need that cleared up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Le Beau Le Parfum versus Le Male Essence de Parfum versus Paradise Garden. Damn, we're not smelling it right now, but might as well grab it real quick. Did spend a shitload of money on this. That dark juice with the gold. It's not the newer version with the blue juice and the silver, which I have a decant of that's almost empty. Yeah. I'm going to put that to the side. But yeah, that came in today too. Yay for me. I got 3 Le Male two Le Male fragrances and a Le Beau fragrance came in today. I love Jean Paul Gaultier. I really do. Not a big Scandal guy. Not a huge fan of those fragrances. Day 3's in the house. I missed Mike. Where's Mike? Let me scroll up. Where's Mike the Trickster? There he is. What's going on, Mike? Scroll down. John, good to see you. Dior Homme Sport. Which one? All 4 are great, so it really doesn't matter. The leaf looks different and cool. I like it. I think it's a different approach. I have the women's version that didn't make it in yet for my wife, and it's got the leaves and everything on the collar. So I like it. I definitely like it. Unique Akins and Boston Scent Elixir, which that's the designer of the year to beat for me. What a great release. Kicks Griffey with Intense Red Tobacco. I love it. I love it so much more than the original. And I've praised the original Red Tobacco over the years. I just prefer the Intense start to finish. It's so much better. Is Jean Paul Gaultier the most trustworthy house these days? Blind Buy worthy Bonanza. Well, they seem to be more popular than ever because as soon as they drop a flanker, sells out all over the place for like the last several years. Ultra Male was hard to get for a long time because it was just so hyped. And that was years ago. Every time they drop anything, it's a hot release, man. And then Le Beau is so popular for as synthetic of a fragrance line as the Le Beau fragrances are. All 3 are synthetic. Now that I've smelled the 3rd one, all 3 are synthetic. Very synthetic. People love them. They get compliments for people. They smell tropical, which who doesn't like being transported to the beach with your scent profile? And I think that's one of the reasons they're so popular. They sell quick, like literally. I mean, 5 minutes, I think, is me being generous with the time on how quick both bottle sizes sold out from Fragrance Buy. You know how hard it is to get Le Beau Le Parfum still? That fragrance came out almost 2 years ago. It's still hard as hell to get Le Beau Le Parfum because it's just so popular. You got to give it to Jean Paul Gaultier, man. They're good fragrances. They're good fragrances. Now, this one has potential to be, I don't know. I've seen the notes. It's like pepper, vanilla, and ambergris, which I'm sure is just ambroxan. That excites me. Spicy vanilla with some ambroxan. If it's straight up like that, I'll probably like it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll check it out. I like enough of their fragrances to where I'm willing to roll the dice on one that potentially could be not that good. Arrives later this week, hoping it's good. Michael Malone, Edgewater. Shout outs to Ashton. Does it have fig? Yes. It's a slightly bitter tone to the fig. It's not soapy. You know, fig can come across soapy or woodsy sometimes. You get fig wood, fig leaf. This green fig, it's kind of slightly bitter, like it's a ripe fig. I'm guessing is what green fig would be. I'm assuming here, but it's a little. I think that's what's providing that slightly bitter feel. That's kind of tying into the ginger to give me this slightly earthy feel. No, not at all. Not even a little. That's a bright fragrance. This is something different. There's a meme fragrance house these days. That's just because people suck on the internet. That's all that is. Most people on the internet suck. I'm not saying that's any of you, but it could be some people watching. I mean, we got 180 people watching. I guarantee not all 180 are nice on the internet. So I can guarantee that. There's people that hate watch me. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You too. Yeah, you two guys, I see y'all. Y'all are hate watching right now. And it's okay. Welcome. I appreciate it. 79 likes, 170 watchers. We can do better, folks. Let me click refresh. Where are we at? Yeah, that's way off if that's what it is. 89, we're getting there. Can we get to 100? Even you hate watchers, come on now. Hit that thumbs up. You know you like the stream. That's why you're here. Hate watching is just you really love me, but you want to bitch about me. It's weird. Some weird dynamic. I appreciate you too. All right, let's see. My Paradise Garden's coming tomorrow. Already had a sample and liked it. I know the smell of ginger makes me feel how Darby felt after that. Oh, y'all want to talk about that? You mean his hamburger meat back? Oh, God. You want to talk about overboard on a spot. For those of you that didn't watch AEW Revolution with Sting's retirement match last night, Darby Allin jumped off the top of a very high ladder that was in the ring, somersault into a pane of glass on chairs and hit the ground. Nobody broke his fall. And immediately he turned over and just blood everywhere because glass was all in his back. He was a gushing river of blood. Oh, that dude's crazy. First Instinct Extreme, killing it at the gym currently. Hell yeah, I'm going to have to catch the live stream a little later. No worries, my man, no worries. Kara, good to see you. You put fig leaves as the undies, like Adam and Eve vibe to the bottle, for sure, for sure. Green Stravaganza, I have not tried yet. I've heard it's good, though. I've heard good things. I'll get around to it. They had the women's release came in stock when all of this stuff came in stock. If they'd have had the men's, I would have bought it. This just didn't come in stock. I bought a lot of stuff. Even the best fragrances at least are partially synthetic, for sure. Third natural, 2/3 synthetic is perfect blend. That's fair. That's fair. We're having the feedback issue again. All good now. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me unplug and plug it back. All right, switched it back over. Sorry about that, because I watched the replay from yesterday for the members stream, so I saw what y'all were talking about, that popping, crackling, robotic stuff, the feedback the mic was giving. I'm sorry about that, guys. So do you know what baby powder smells like? That. Some people hate it. It's charming in some ways when it's like a spicy baby powder, sweet baby powder. If it's not too much of it, baby powder. In fact, people might tell you, you smell like baby powder. My wife says it all the time because I wear powdery fragrances often. And it may sound very uncharming, but they're just getting a brief glimpse of it, not what you're actually smelling in your wearing experience. But baby powder is the best way I can describe to you. What's going on, my man? Molinar Ginger Ombre, another amazing recommendation from Ross and Joel. Thank you, fellas. I think it'll be fine in the humid weather. I think the EDT is better for the humidity. The Le Parfum surprisingly works great in the high heat humidity. For as sweet as it is, it actually works great. So I have a feeling this is going to do just as well because it's still quite fresh. That mint helps really brighten things up here. Whoops, I'm smelling this here toxic. Speaking of mint, oh, there's that ginger. I think it'll be fine in the humidity. I think it'll be fine, yeah. All right. Hi, Ross in chat. Super excited about these first impressions. My question here is on Pegasus and latent exclusive being redundant, not an occasion, but smell. No, they don't smell alike. No, sir. Not redundant at all to me. Pegasus is a very cool, milky, creamy floral. It's metallic. Latent exclusive is animalic, a little funky, woodsy oud. Still has the fruitiness and the spice and the minty tones of the original's DNA. Yeah, definitely not redundant to me, my man. Tonka Bean, good to see you. Prada Amber, really keen to try. Ooh, the Solar Lavender Flanker. Yeah, I'm going to want to get that as well. Has become quite elusive. Are you surprised, Rick? I'm not. It's going to be just like the Le Parfum again. It's going to be hell to get. That's why I could not wait to jump on it. I was not missing on that. All right, so let's get into Le Male Lover. What's going on, my man? Like, why even watch if you're going to be a hater? You're one of the best reviewers, so I'm not understanding why people hate on you. Kara, I appreciate that. It just comes with the territory. It's all part of it. I don't sweat it. I'm flattered by it. It used to bother me years ago. It flatters me now. I had friends that used to send me screenshots of some of the stupid shit that gets posted about me. And once they finally stopped, when I'd stop sending it to me, I don't care. Now I have no idea what's said about me on the internet unless it comes to my channel. And I just block that and move on. So I don't sweat it. I'm a very happy guy that leads a very blessed life and lifestyle. I'm very thankful for the life I live every day. So if that kind of shit's just part of it to live the life I live, cool with it. All good. I appreciate all aspects. People that like me, people that don't like me. In a monetized space, attention is money. So I appreciate it. But thank you for the kind words. All right, so much in the chat, guys. Like, I want to get into the next one. I'm trying not to skip too much. Paradise Garden's actually my sin of the day, the last of my decant. Well, man, I hope the next restock. Did you click notify me for Fragrance Buy for when they get another restock? Because they'll get another restock. I'm sure they got it for a decent price. And they made a decent amount of money on all of that sellout because it's not that much lower than retail that they sold it for. So anytime you want something bad enough, because Fragrance Buy, they're pretty good about getting stock before most people do when it comes to these new releases. So I was strongly, it's not just because I'm affiliated with them, guys. It's the God's honest truth. They've always been one of the best places to buy fragrances, especially newer release designers for years now. Click notify me. They will email you. I get emailed all the time when certain things I've been waiting on gets in stock. That's why I buy so much shit. So Prada Black is a great fragrance. A little powdery, warm, and ambery. Smells like Play-Doh in the opening, though. You got to like that. Apparently, it's discontinued. Been thinking about grabbing it. It's a great evening fragrance. Great for date night. Great. Gary, I appreciate that, sir. I really do. Ooh, Sultan Vetiver, Mephisto, Memoir Man, Scandal Parfum Cologne, and Bitter Peach. Damn, Charles. Sounds like you're going to have a fun session of sniffing. This is a very old iMac that's behind me. This is actually a G4 Power Mac that's been upgraded to the maximum. That's down there, and that's the monitor that goes with it. That's not the all-in-one unit. The actual computer is down here. Quicksilver and Sawtooth were the two versions they were called. The actual computers. It's Power G4. Power PC G4 back then. I forgot which ATI graphics cards it has. It's maxed out with processor. It's got 256 megabytes of RAM, which, I mean, this is a 2002 was the year these fragrances came out. So that was a lot of RAM back then. No, 384 megabytes of RAM. So that was, I mean, these are for their time, for their era. I have both of them, Quicksilver and Sawtooth. These were done for graphic design. They're actually kind of relics. I just kind of have them and collect them. My old boss, when I worked at Mercedes, his brother had passed and he was a graphic designer. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. And my uncle, who was my boss, my other boss, was like, he likes stuff like that. He might want it. I said, what you got? He's like, I'll bring it all tomorrow in a van and you take whatever you want. He had so much like older Macs, not vintage like 80s, early 90s, but late 90s, early 2000s Mac stuff in pristine condition for like just, I have boxes of all kinds of like the parts with labels on them and just like this dude was super OCD about his stuff. May he rest in peace. But yeah, Mike's like, buddy, you can have it all. And so that's how I acquired stuff like that. Thank you for asking. So I'm skipping ahead. Could you do Cobalt Elixir next? I can. We'll do that one next. Boz, I see you, sir. Good to see you. So, all right, we'll do that one next then. We'll do Le Mans Lover after. We'll go back and forth. Jean-Paul Gaultier, something else. Jean-Paul Gaultier, something else. We'll do it that way. So here we go. Carolina Herrera, Bad Boy, Cobalt Elixir. I got the 50 ml because I don't need more. Now, why did I get the 125s for these? I tend to gravitate to my Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrances a bit more, so that's why I felt the need to get the 125s. And then with this, I got the 100 ml because it was $15 more. Now, when we start getting 25, 30 bucks more, yeah, I don't need 100 ml unless it's something I know I'm going to keep going back to. So with this, 50 ml is fine. I don't even have the original. So here we go. Dark blue, let me try. You can see a little bit of that up here because I don't have light coming through. It's coming towards me, so I can see how deep and rich the blue is. It goes to about here, and then it gets black. But interesting, the lightning bolt bottles. I have the Le Parfum. That's the only other one I have. So here's what we're going to do, which these are awkward, by the way. We're going to go under there. It sprayed right away. It was sealed. I've looked at the notes. I'm trying to remember. There's some kind of booze. What was the other main note? I don't remember. Damn it. I looked at the notes when I bought it. I know there's some kind of booze like rum or cognac. I don't know. I want to say it's rum. We'll see what's what. We'll figure it out. Okay. This is a bit intoxicating. I find this kind of smooth and sensual and a little seductive. Not what I was expecting. It is boozy, but it's sweet. There's some fruitiness to this. Much more fruity than I thought. It's a very fruity fragrance. Mouth-watering type of juiciness to this. Very sweet. Very sweet. If you don't like sweet, you won't like Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir. I'm telling you right now. Typical sweet designer. Modern men's designers are sweet most of the time now. So if you don't like stuff like that, which now that I think about it, we were talking about people that hate me a minute ago. Most of them like the classic men's styles. They don't like stuff like this. And that's part of the reason they hate me, because I like modern stuff. I don't know. Who knows? Just dawned on me because I always notice the stuff I do see. That's usually the type of fragrances they're into. There's a pattern here. This is actually really good. I need to get the original. It is a little boozy, but it's very sweet. Very sweet, fruity, but it's not like, it doesn't come across cloying and hyper scratchy and synthetic to me. Not real powdery. I also don't get much like a woody nuance or anything. Like I don't get the strong woody base backbone to this fragrance. I'm very curious now. We are not going to waste any more time. We are going to the notes. Black pepper sage, black truffle. Okay, no booziness, but that black truffle is why it's so crazy sweet. Look, sweet's the main accord. It's not all that woody on my skin. Not right now. It says woody's the second main accord. It's not super woody to me right now. A little spice, sure. Sage, okay. But vanilla and black truffle, there it is. There's my sweetness. It kind of smells a little fruity to me, though. A little fruity and a little boozy. Is what it is. Okay. Frankincense. Maybe the more resinous side. Yeah, resinous is the fifth main accord. Maybe on the resinous side, but not like an airy, smoky incense smell. Not to me, anyways. See that rating they got right there? That's about where I'm at, too. I'm going to call it 7.75. I think I'm right there with them. Right in between very good and great. That quarter point away from great in my rating system, because when we get to 8 and 8.5, that's great according to my own rating system. It's pretty damn good. Special? No. No, definitely not. You really got to like Sweet, because if Sweet would have been anywhere but the main accord, it would have been a travesty because it's very sweet. People that don't like sweet fragrances will despise this and think it's terrible, and we're all ridiculous for liking this. If you don't like sweet, it's that kind of sweet, to where people that don't like sweet are going to be like, you're ridiculous. How could you like that? That's awful. That's so feminine, and not all the stupid shit that people that don't like sweet fragrances say. If it's sweet, it's feminine. That's a stretch. Now, if you want to say florals, okay, yes, that's feminine, heavy florals. I'm with you on that. I get it. But sweet is sweet. It's not necessarily just feminine. You got to throw other notes in there to make sweet feminine, to me. My opinion, of course, just like I'm countering others' opinions. It's pretty damn good, though. Spice is starting to come in a little more. So, I don't think this one's feminine. Pretty damn good, though. I bet my wife's going to like this. I bet she's going to like this one. I'm 7.75 out of 10 is what I'm going to go with on this one. Right in between very good and great. I think that's fair. I'd like to get a decant and try the original. I have a feeling, let's look at the notes on the original. Since the notes are pretty similar, I think it'd be pretty damn redundant. And this isn't something that I'm going to wear all the time. So there's no point in me getting both unless I just all of a sudden I just gravitate to it and end up really wearing it a lot. Synthetic sweet, fresh, fruity, spicy. Lavender, pink pepper, black plum. Okay, that's intriguing. Egyptian geranium, cedarwood, truffle. So you have the truffle again, oak and vetiver. A lot of woods. Truffle, black plum. So maybe that's still in the elixir and that's the fruitiness I'm getting. Just because they don't list it doesn't mean it's not in there from the original's formula, because I do get a fruity nuance from the elixir flanker. Maybe I do need to try the original. Oh, I don't have a split screen. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't pull the screen up. I'm sitting here looking at it, talking about it to you guys. Yeah, this actually looks pretty intriguing. This note breakdown looks more intriguing to me because of that plum than the elixir does. The elixir smells great. I like it. Spice is setting in more. It's a good one. It's a good one. Gotta like sweet. I reiterate, gotta like sweet. So far we have an 8.5 and a 7.75. We're off to a pretty good start, I would say. What do you think, Calvin Klein Obsession? I haven't smelled it in a very long time. My dad used to wear that. I haven't smelled that fragrance in over 20 years. I have Obsession Night, but not the same fragrance. Recently picked up Torino 21 and Wulong Cha, realizing I love citrus green fragrances. Any recommendations? Colonia Pura from Acqua di Parma. It's my favorite Acqua di Parma. Neroli Petitgrain. So a little soapy white floral. Not real soapy. Fresh green. And then some photorealistic citruses. Soft wood, clean musk. I would consider that on the citrus green side. And it's my favorite Acqua di Parma. Colonia Pura. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Probably going to get so big that you won't be able to do this with the chat pretty soon. LOL. It's already a lot. It is a lot. And what would have to happen is the chat would have to be more patient with me. The bigger the chat gets. Like, we got 200 people in here right now. Now, look, for the grand scheme of things on YouTube, that's nothing for the YouTube live streams. Like, I watch certain live streams where they got 5,000-6,000 people in the chat. And it's just, even on slow mode, it's flying. Okay. But they're also not engaging with the chat at all because there's no way they can. Now, for our community, this is a sizable live chat, and I'm very appreciative of that of you guys. For the fragrance community, yeah, this is a very sizable. This is one of the bigger side, one of the bigger ends of the live chat crowds, and I'm appreciative and thankful of all of you. I really like the engagement of chatting with you guys, so I try my best to keep up as best I can, but like literally stopping to talk about this one, I'm getting behind. It's all part of it, but I love it. I love it. I'm sure it'll get more and more difficult if the live chat continues to grow, because there's some days that I have 300 people in here. Not all 300 chat. Like right now, 190 is the current counter. Not all 190 are commenting. Like I said, some are hate watching. Some are just listening in, and they can't even type if they wanted to. Some are listening in their car on the way home from work. I get a lot of that. Again, I'm appreciative of all of it. But I'm sure glad you're here. You've been very much engaging with the channel a lot lately, Kara. I appreciate that. I saw you on my TikTok liking a bunch of stuff earlier too. I appreciate you. Just did that one, so now I know how far behind I am. Need a new baseball cap. Give me suggestions. Not looking for a major team. Cool logos, whatever. That's up to you. What you like is what you like. I can't suggest a hat for you, my man. All right. Scrolling. Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, Boz. Okay, just bought Paradise Garden at Beauty Shop. 10% discount. Signing up for $117 for 75 ml. Rick, there you go. There's your chance. If you're cool with 75 ml, you got a big collection. 75 ml is a lot. God knows if I'll ever even go through my 125. You know, you got a big collection, Rick. 75 is probably all you need. So right there, if you want it, Rick, there's an opportunity. There's an opening. Go get it if you want to get it. I was in the gym today, getting better shape now. That's good to hear, Boz. I'm glad you're sticking with it and staying consistent, my man. Only have a bit. I'll catch up the replay. African Robios, from Chris Collins. Chris Collins has such a great brand. Good to see you, Noel. 10 ml. Could easily have gone 50 ml. I really like it, but I go completely nose blind after 20 to 30 minutes. I can't even smell the bottle after 20 minutes. Damn, that's unfortunate. Swole Cobra. There we go. All right, so I got to skip ahead a little bit. They say there's no plum in it, but I smell fruity. Is it distinctively plum to me in the elixir? Now that I know that plum was in the original, maybe more so my mind's trying to make it plum. But I get fruity in the elixir. I was surprised to not see a fruity note. Then I look at the original that it's flankered from, distinctive fruity note. It's got to be in there. Just like these designers that give 3 note breakdowns, it is not 3 fragrance. There's not 3 fragrance oils in those fragrances. There's other things at smaller portions that they don't bother putting in the note pyramids that they release. Just like with this, I highly doubt 6 notes is the only thing that's in this fragrance. It smells busier than it actually is. It doesn't smell super complex or anything, but it smells a little busier. Good to see you, Jason. We're an Amouage Reflection, man. You, sir, smell very upper class today. Ooh. Honestly, the safer play is Le Beau EDT. It's also easier to get at discounters for like 80, 90 bucks range. You know, roughly depends on the bottle size, and it's very straightforward. And honestly, of the 3, it's the best for the heat. It's the freshest. It's the most straightforward too. It's bergamot, coconut, tonka bean. It's the least powdery of the bunch because this one's getting, decent amount of powder going, but not as powdery as the Le Parfum. Also, so if I had to rank them in order of how powdery they are, Le Beau EDT is the least, Paradise Garden's in the middle, and the Le Parfum is the most powdery. Again, it's that synthetic iris note going with the tonka bean that makes the Le Parfum the most, at least according to my opinion, that's what makes it the most powdery of the bunch. I got 2 good ones on my skin so far, though. Plus, I'm wearing this here Toxic Intense, and here comes an F-bomb. It's fucking phenomenal. Just being honest with you, it's fucking phenomenal. Let's see. Got a sample. It's all right. Don't like the entire Bad Boy DNA. To be honest, not bad, just not my type. There are much better fragrances in the sweet era. That's fair. It's fair. Totally get it. Good day to you as well, sir. Well, it's really plum heavy and blue. I need to try that. I think the Elixir's nightclub edition of Cobalt. I used to use it as a work scent. Prefer the original. So this one's a password. DJ, good to see you. I can't complain. Almost 200 in chat. 20 life free content deserves a like. I appreciate that. On clothing seems to dry down to an awkward vinegar pickle smell. Ooh. I don't really spray my clothing though, because they weren't intended to be sprayed on clothing. They're meant to be on skin. The only time I'll spray anything on clothing is if it's something super, super, super fresh and I'm spraying a lot of sprays. The only time I spray heavy is if it's really fresh and airy, high heat fragrance, like a Polo Ultra Blue, for example. Super fresh, just a few hours of life, but crazy, crazy airy. That kind of stuff, yeah, I'll do 12, 15 sprays or something, and a bunch of them will be on my shirt and stuff like that. But fragrances that have typical staying power and stuff, I really like to spray on skin so they can really open up and develop as the perfumers intend. No knock on anybody who wants to spray their clothing. I'm just calling it what it is. I've gotten to know a master perfumer pretty well, and that's what I was educated on, is they're not meant to be on clothing. They're meant to be on skin. So maybe don't spray your shirt with it. I'm sure it smells better than that on your skin. I mean, it depends on your chemistry, obviously. Don't get me wrong, vetiver, certain vetivers, you smell like roach spray on my skin. Oddly enough, doesn't smell like that to me anymore, but there was a time when I was like avoided the heavy vetivers because it smelled like Raid on my skin. So skin chemistry, olfactory perception, all these different things. And I don't mind Ambroxan. I answered that already, that I haven't smelled that in 21 years because my dad passed in 2003. I have not smelled it since then. Scrolling down. So my apologies. Let me find a decent stopping point, and we're going to go into Le Male Lover next. We're already at an hour. We still got 2 fragrances to go. Needless to say, we're going to do it minimum an hour and a half. Oh, here's a funny one. Let me go back to it. As far as how many people, I don't know. I have no idea. I've seen him in his live streams in the past. Such a conversationalist. Shout outs to Jeremy. My fragrance addiction, and I love it. Fraghead for life. Those, not everybody's going to get the reference, but I'm going to hit you with it. You know, for life. You know what I mean? It's wrestling for those of you that didn't know. That's an NWO thing. Cobalt redundant. Okay, gotta skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, it's not on their website yet because I went to Ferragamo's website and bought red leather. I went to Lattafa's website and pre-ordered Assad Zanzibar. And I was like, well, shit, let me go see if Paco Rabanne, or Rabanne, because they dropped the Paco. Let me go see if Rabanne's got Invictus Parfum. They didn't have it. I checked Sephora, checked Macy's. I checked their actual website. They didn't have it yet. As soon as they do, I'm going to just buy it from them. I might buy it from Macy's or something. Rick, when's the next 15% off sale? You always know. Let me know if it coincides when the time comes. I'd love to get 15% off if I can. Because hell, when Platinum came out, Invictus Platinum, I bought it from Macy's. I bought it at full retail. So I don't mind paying retail if it's something I really want. I would have bought this for retail. It's just not easy to get. Scream Spring Weather. I agree, because it's on the greener side. Boz Pythons. There we go. I like it. Yesterday's mofo was even taking my uniform shirt. Coworker could still smell me. Jatster, good to see you. Listening to the live, coming home from work. See? Because a lot of people tell me that. Beauty Shop is legit. I've bought from them before as well. Yeah, John Carlo's he's buying from a legit place. I've bought from them before. Somebody else told me that as well, which I wore that a couple times last week. So I agree, BT. I'm definitely going to look into it. Almost candy. 3 to 4 hours in balance. See, a lot of people like, oh, 3 to 4 hours, bro. I can't buy that. I'm here for the experience and the scent profile. You're right. I probably will enjoy it and probably will get about 3 or 4 hours. And it'll be 3 or 4 hours of magic probably. Hey, Clatton, remember what you said about it? You were so right. It felt a little more mature for a 22-year-old me, but such a lovely watery floral. So that's the thing. It has a class to it, but it's still a casual fragrance. It's like a more evolved Terre d'Hermes Eau Givray. Eau Givray is very fresh, uplifting, bright. It can be youthful, even though it's got a slight earthiness to the woody notes that's still the same vetiver oil, I'm convinced. To tie it into the line, it's the most easygoing of the Terre d'Hermes line. Now take that and add some complexity. So amp up a little bit of pink pepper, add some olibanum, give it a little bit of a smoky tone, Ambroxan to really brighten and push the notes, and then make it very, very musky, sharp, musky tone with the grapefruit. That's Brioni Eclat. It's still a casual, warm weather fragrance, but it's got the seriousness of a daily wear work fragrance for a guy that's 30 years old or older. That's kind of how I see it. Not kind of how I see it. That's how I see it. That's why I'm explaining it that way. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. Inverted Vampire. Interesting name. Yeah, perfumer won't list every, speaking of perfumers, a perfumer won't list every note in the fragrance. Usually that's what she wants you to focus on. Might be 65 materials and you only list 5 or 6. Said owner perfumer of Day 3 fragrances. Prime example, guys, because there's certain percentages of oils that you would never know were in there. If they don't tell you, your mind's not going to necessarily pick it up, no matter how good your nose is, how experienced you are. There's things you're just not going to pick up. that blend together to create certain accords. And you're like, oh, well, I get that's why you hear me say only thing I can attribute this accord to is these notes, because that's what I see they're telling me. So that's all I can make sense of it with. Because they're not going to give you the full story. They never do in any fragrance. Even Raja Dove's fragrances that have all these oils, that's probably still not all the oils. So I appreciate you weighing in, Mike, and just kind of reiterating what I was saying. Obviously, you have experience from the different side of it as you're actually that you create fragrances. You know what I mean? So I sure appreciate you, my man. EDP is also close to Paradise Garden. Too much sweet for the heat. And see, I actually like it in the heat. I could see where it might be too much for people, but I've wore it to the beach. I wore it to the beach in the beginning of August last year. Twice. 3 times. It was great. All right. Like I said, I could do this all day. We got 2 more fragrances. Let me try to skip down. God, I'm so far behind in the chat. Josh, I see you. Good to see you, my man. Just got Cobalt in the mail right now, and I actually like it. Anna, good to see you. All right. Jeez. I did not see that. Soulfly910, I love the name. You're the best. Been watching the channel for years, learned everything I know about fragrance from you, honestly. Thank you. I appreciate you, my man. I'm glad you enjoy the content. I'm glad it provides some kind of benefit for you. I'm in no way the best of anything. You know what I mean? I'm just your favorite. It was what it comes down to. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. Because every time somebody tells me that, I got to let you guys know none of us are the best at this. We're all just giving our opinion. Some are more technical than others and more experienced. Some like to paint you a picture more and try to make it relatable. Some are very laid back. Some are more upbeat. Like everybody's just different personalities and styles. And some will relate to others more. Some will relate to others' taste more, personality more, style more, visual appeal, all these different things. Like I get those that think at 39 I should be wearing totally different attire hate my guts. But those that could care less how I dress and have earrings and tattoos and gemstone bracelets and everything and care about my opinion and my personality, that's guys like you, that people like you that are here right now. You know what I mean? So that's it. All ties into my point. Is just like I made the video about there is no best when it comes to fragrance. It's just a search term because best is your favorite. When I say best, it's just my favorite for whatever the topic is. Same thing when it comes to us content creators. We're just giving opinions. None of us are right. None of us are wrong. None of us are better than the other. No matter if we call ourselves the GOAT or the #1 fragrance influencer, Jeremy and Robes. You know what I mean? One calls himself the GOAT. The other one says he's #1. They're not wrong. They're not right. They're them. I'm me. It's just what it is. Very lengthy response for your comment, I know. But I wanted to make sure to get my point across that I don't look at myself as anything special, but I do appreciate the compliment greatly. I really do. It's nice to read things like that with so much shit in the world and on social media and the internet in general, especially in this space. The space is more toxic than it should be. But I thank you very much for the kind words. My heart, all my comments were skipped. Bullshit. Your comments pinned right now, Ryan. Don't you go lying to people. I talk to you almost daily, sir. You see I'm having to skip around. It's not targeted at you. Come on now. I see you. Let them know, Joel. Let's see. I left Macy's and went to smell that new horrible Dolce & Gabbana Intense. It's that bad, huh? If she's with you at 39, Ross, they saw me at 44, they'd riot. All about wearing comfort whenever possible. I wear athletic apparel 99% of my time. I want that H24 flanker. We're going to get into that one last. But I actually made it to the bottom. I'll be damned. Kenzo Homme Marine, I want that too. Fico di Amalfi, that's an all-time great. All right. Finally, because I can just sit here and talk to you guys the whole time because it's such a lively chat. I'm so thankful for this lively chat we have, guys. Lamal Lover. Okay, then. Let's check it out. See what we're working with here. It's funny how big the scale difference is between the 2 bottles. So let me turn the autofocus off. But when we're talking the LeBeau bottle versus Lamal bottle. They're both 125 milliliters. Obviously, this has a thicker base, so it changes the volume, because if we were to just look from the volume standpoint, it's about right there. And then this is a fuller bottle. This one's not as full. So same amount of juice, just they're contoured and created a bit different. For the volume's different because that one's got a thicker base than this one. But yep, transparent gunmetal, kind of smoke gray gunmetal look to the atomizer and all that good junk. So let's go on top of forearm. Beautiful atomizers. God, they have beautiful atomizers. A lot of vanilla. Kind of comes across a little woodsy, because I remember the notes are like pepper, vanilla, and ambergris. That is ambroxan and pepper. And kind of a dusty vanilla, at least out in the air. I'm not up on skin yet. I'm giving it a second. Seems pretty strong, though. It's kind of drowning out the other two, and I'm wearing Desir Toxic L'intense, which is pretty strong. So it's pretty good. It's not bad. I've heard like mixed emotions on this one. That's a lot of fragrances, though. Not everybody likes everything the same. It smells like there's something fruity in here. I get like a purple fruity kind of, not plum, not necessarily plum. Maybe not so much, but it's like a dry pepper that almost comes across a little woodsy, not a nutmeg smell, not like nutmeg type of woody spice, but like a kind of the dry pepper that I get from Guess 1981 Los Angeles. No, it doesn't smell like Eros. That's not what I'm saying. But specifically that dry black pepper smell that's in the top of Guess 1981 Los Angeles. Any of you that have it or smelled it before may know what I'm referring to. It's kind of like that kind of pepper. And the vanilla, if it's vanilla, I'm pretty sure that's what's in here. It's not super creamy. If anything, it's kind of a dry and dusty vanilla. It's kind of woodsy spiced. Didn't see that coming. It's actually pretty masculine. Not all that sweet. Pretty spicy. A little on the dry side, which very much surprises me. It's much more masculine than I anticipated. Kind of funny with a name like Lamal Lover. Quite masculine to me, at least the opening. Hold that thought, because underneath, I'm getting a little bit of like, you know how sage can come across with this kind of bubblegummy smell sometimes. And I don't know if sage is in here. Could be one of those, because it's a 3-note note breakdown. I've looked at it before. Sage kind of comes across a little bubblegummy to me sometimes. It's a tie into a lot of blue fragrances, but kind of get a little bit of that kind of floating underneath. Coming out more. Okay, now it's starting to smell like a blue fragrance. So I take that back. It's more of a modern fragrance than I thought. I was thinking, I was like, damn, this is kind of somewhat semi-old school masculine kind of shit going on here. No, that was just in the initial blast. It's settling. It's settling in. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of this like sage bubblegummy smell with the pepper. I like it a lot, but I could see why people would bitch about it, because people bitch about everything. Let's see the notes. Oops. Not elixir. Lamal Lover. White pepper, not black pepper. White pepper, ambergris, vanilla. Fresh woody gourmand. Say what now? I don't know if I'd go that far. I think that's a stretch. Synthetic and sweet, yeah. Sweet being the 5th accord, that makes sense, because it's not super sweet. That makes sense. So I kept saying a little dry and woodsy. That's the 2nd accord. And there's no woody notes here. So that, again, goes to show, like Mike mentioned from Day 3 Fragrances, there's notes in here that they're not listing, because these are the biggest lies. Or the 3-note note breakdown designers, that's the biggest lies. They just don't want to tell you everything. Is it to try to counter some of the reverse engineering for the clones? I don't know, because if they do run them through a machine, that makes these note breakdowns irrelevant, but I don't know. That's what I hear they do. There's a little bit of a bubblegum, light, just light, nothing crazy. Light bubblegum, sagey kind of smell floating around, getting a little bit stronger. I don't get loads of vanilla here. I do get some spice, a little bit of a dry wood nuance. And that's pretty much it. It's a little musky, but pretty straight up. Smells like a blue fragrance to me. It falls in the blue fragrance family. Maybe there's more to this hue of this bottle than well, no, it meets the eye because it's blue. I like it. This is a daily wear fragrance. This is something I could rock every day. This is much more versatile than that note breakdown would have led me to believe. I like it. I actually like it a lot. I like it more than Cobalt Elixir. I think it's a damn 8 out of 10. My first impressions, my initial impressions of this, I think it's an 8 out of 10, Le Male Lover. But if you don't like blue fragrances, you ain't gonna like this. If that ambergris is just Cimbroxin, it's not heavy. A little bit, but it's not heavy. Maybe it'll get more as it dries down, but if anything, it gives a little bit of a muskiness and freshness. That's got to be where the freshness is coming from, I would think. But I do get a little bit of a smell of like that bubblegummy sage. That's what's really tying it into smelling more of a blue. Again, when I say bubblegummy, I'm not talking Invictus. I don't think it smells like Invictus. I think it smells like any sage-heavy designer fragrance, like that specific note in accord. I don't mean like smells like all of those fragrances as a whole. Got to make sure I'm very clear with what I mean. Anybody that's got bad things to say about it, it's just not for them. It's not a bad fragrance at all. It's just not for them. They just don't like it. So I'm going to go ahead and state that clearly here now in a public forum. Anybody that just doesn't like this and has bad things to say, it's not a bad fragrance. It's just not inspired. It's not some remarkably new, holy shit, they broke the mold here. This is a new DNA. They need to flank her from this. It's not that. It's a little uninspired, but it does smell really good. I will wear it. I do like it. It doesn't remind me of a bunch of other fragrances aside from that specific accord I'm talking about that can tie into a lot of different fragrances. So, but with that said, 8 out of 10. I will wear this. This is something I could wear every single day year round. It's fresh enough, but strong and dense enough to do all 4 seasons, I think. Final answer. Le Male Lover is 8 out of 10 for me. I like it a lot. I don't know what else to say. It all comes down to taste, guys. Bibliothèque from Byredo for Anna. Let's see. Not too challenging, but nice. I definitely want to try it. Those tin cans are awesome. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of sad that I don't keep them anymore because they're just space wasters. But these two are actually pretty nice. I got to say, these two in particular are quite nice. I could see people being underwhelmed by it. What do you think about it? I'm planning on wearing it this week. It's right there. I'm planning on wearing it this week at some point. You got fresh style, big ups for originality. Appreciate you, my guy. The Egyptian content for LeBeau. What do you mean? What you talking about? You have me confused, Jonathan. About to go see what Marshalls and Nordstrom got. Good luck. They haven't had much of anything for me. Oh, the blue's a nice color. The green's nice too. JPG just nails it. That's what I'm saying. I'm a fan of the house. They have become one of my favorite designer brands. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I wear that quite often in the evenings. Oh, Intense, good, but not quite worth the price, perhaps. That's fair. It's the most interesting of the 3. It's not the best of the 3 to me. My favorite's the Parfum. Obviously, the most expensive one, go figure, I think is the best of the bunch. Again, best meaning my favorite of the three. See, there you go. A bunch of negative reviews about it. But sometimes we still have to try and make our own opinions. Sometimes I could see people being bored by it. I don't think it's bad. Now, look, I paid $116 or something like that is what it was from Fragrance Buy. I could see people being mad. Like, I can't believe I paid over $100 for this. I got 10 other fragrances that can smell similar and can do the other same thing. I get that. I get it. So sample first. Nobody told you to blind buy it, genius. Don't get mad that you're unhappy with your blind buy. You can't get mad. You chose to not try it first. And I'm just generalized statement here. It cracks me up when people blindly just spend the money, and then when it comes in, they run online to bitch about it. You fucked up, not the fragrance. You chose that. Insert Soldier Boy. I'm quick Soldier Boy reference because I thought of that when I said you that way, but that's cracks me up every time when I see people complaining about a blind buy. Don't blind buy. Oh, but I don't want to miss out. Get a better mindset. Get rid of that fear of missing out. FOMO, it doesn't need to control you. Wait. They're not discontinuing this fragrance. It just came out. Wait. It'll make its way to retailers. Go try it. Then get it if it moves you. If it's uninspired and you don't think it's worth the money, then don't buy it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because I have to say things like this because I guarantee you those that are complaining about it, most of them blind bought it. Some of them are just feel like they have to tell you because they smelled it and they don't like it. And they're like, oh, this is terrible. This is awful. This is shit. Do better, Jean-Paul Gaultier. I get that side of it too. Some people just like to shit on fragrances if they don't like it on the internet. It's just what it is. But that's what it comes down to. For the majority that are blind buying it and then getting pissed off that they blind bought it and didn't like it, just get mad at yourself. Don't go complaining on the internet about it. The fragrance didn't do anything wrong. The fragrance didn't make you buy it. You chose to buy it without smelling it first. So my lecture is over for that. And see these little tangents? I get criticized for sharing my opinion. I don't make anybody click my videos. You're getting what I think. You come to me, you're getting what the fuck I think. This is what it is. Appreciate all 214 of you right now that are listening. Well, I think it's decent. Special? Absolutely not. Not even a little. The least special of the bunch, but my second favorite so far at the same time. Better than Apex. Okay, that's fair. But I like it over the Parfum Cologne. I like it over the Parfum Cologne because it's more interesting, but the Parfum Cologne at the same time is just so easy to wear. See, that's what I like about the O Intense, the rhubarb. How sour it is, kind of damp at the top. It's a little weird. So I get fig. Yeah, it's funny coming from me. Okay. I got to scroll down a little bit because I got behind pretty quick. All it takes is a little tangent. I don't know. I haven't tried the Popeye Eau Fresh or Superman Eau Fresh. They're $200+ on eBay too. And I was looking at them and I was like, because I just spent that on Le Male Essence de Parfum old batch, which I've tried before. I didn't just blind buy an overpriced resale fragrance. I went through several ml of the newer batch, you know. So I'm saying I'm not sure. It could be. And if people are comparing it to that, then I would think the majority would love this because that was a darling years ago in this online community. The Popeye flanker, like 2017, 2018, 2019. The Popeye and the Superman Eau Fresh flankers were, it's like everybody had to have them. So that confuses me. If you compare it to that, but you love that, why don't you love this? Or maybe the people y'all are talking about are the ones that do love it. I don't know. I try to avoid as much opinion as I can when I'm going into stuff that I want to get and I know I'm going to get sooner than later. I try to avoid as many opinions as I can. Sometimes it's inevitable being on the internet most of the day throughout the day. I can't avoid it all the time. I'm just going to see stuff. It's going to pop up. I don't go there unless I have to. I don't go there unless I have to, man. That is an unmoderated shithole. There's good information on there. There is, but it's It could be so much better. It used to be. It did. Let's see. The notes are different. Popeye had mint. Yeah, the almost smelling mintiness here. It's kind of interesting, right? I coined that phrase. Anytime you hear somebody say that, they heard it from me. I started that. So it's true. Glorified subreddit with fragrance information. It's what it is. It's a hateful place. They hate me on there. They hate me on Fragrantica. Some of them are watching right now. They're Fragrantica reviewers. They're so distinguished. They're so much better than me. Just ask them. Uden Overdose. I like it. I like it. It kind of surprised me because I got the little 15 ml right here from that Discovery set that I bought the other day. I've gotten so many new fragrances recently. So many fragrances and so little time to wear them. Good to see you, Dakota. Look, it could be better. They have the ability to make it better at any given time. They're just lazy. There's some good people that work for Fragrantica. They don't moderate it. Bullshit needs to go. Legit, like bad reviews and stuff. Sure. You need that. Absolutely. But just like posts that hate me and shit, like what the fuck is, like I can only use examples about me. Like, why does that need to be there? Like there's some heinous shit said about me on there. I think it was great. I was surprised he didn't lose on his way out, but the way it shook out, I'm glad they let him win on his way out. You see, sir, love this live chat. Speaking of sweet fragrance, I'm currently considering Baby Cat or Vitus Vanilla Oud. I would suggest getting samples of both. Vanilla Oud's much more affordable. They do the same thing. They do have some similarities. You get more funk and much more like of a burnt smell, if you will, much darker with Vanilla Oud, but they do have some similarity because they're spicy vanilla-based fragrances with smoky nuances, but you got the oud and saffron that make huge differences in Vanilla Oud versus Baby Cat. I would encourage sampling them. Terrence got it. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is the best ball handler I've ever seen in the history of football. Axe Fragrance has the wrong name or bottle shape. It's usually when a new release gets announced, they go to tearing it down. It's sad. Blind buy and checking one opinion. Always check at least 3 opinions each blind buy. And look, even checking multiple opinions, you're still relying on other people's opinions, which it's a great resource. It's just one tool to use, a video review, a written review, anything. It's a tool to help try to make a more educated decision when sampling is not available. It's kind of the way to look at it. Some people love the thrill of the blind buy. I love the thrill of the blind buy. A lot of you know my motto, I blind buy so you don't have to. I have fun with it. That way, in the event I don't like it, I got something to tell you guys I don't like, because it doesn't happen all that often, but it does happen. And I'll respectfully tell you the things I don't like about it and why without shitting on it. You can not like something and not be an ass about it, you know. I'm here for both. Adam, I would love both of those. Fragrance Shop has it. Pre-Tross, less hate on fragrance individuals don't like. Blind buying is like Russian roulette. Sometimes it's wrong. Less mess than Russian roulette, though. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Those people should remember all those fragrances they were excited about that now sit on their shelves collecting dust. Go wear Hawas Ice while you wait for the new fragrance to hit discounters. Man, you're not wrong, Rick. You're not wrong. Because look, I got tons that sit there and collect dust. Granted, it's different for me because I'm reviewing them. I'm on a monetized channel reviewing the stuff. It's what I do. But for anybody that's not monetizing the passion and everything, and they're just consuming, it's a bold play. It can I don't want to call it a dangerous game. It's not dangerous financially. It's irresponsible. Like all of my financial irresponsibility, there's a method to the madness for me. Fortunately, there's actually benefit to it, believe it or not, with write-offs and such, because it's what I do. But for those that just consume, I don't encourage it. I try not to. There's certain instances where there's no avoiding it. I get it, but usually it's more affordable stuff. But you're right. They sit and collect dust. They do. When you start getting more than 30 fragrances, they're going to collect dust. You can't get to them all the time. Take it to see. Tobacco Rose is a great fragrance. What was the hesitation on pulling the trigger on Essence when it came out years ago? I just didn't get around to it years ago. Same thing with like Spice Bomb Fresh. I waited and waited. I mean, I had the official 20 ml. It's not like I didn't have sprays, but sometimes you want to get other things and you push it off, you push it off, you push it off. And eventually it's like, damn, I pushed it off too long. That's why I don't have Invictus Aqua 2016. I'll never have it. That's why I don't have Profumo Special Blend in the Aqua de Joe line. That's why I don't have Essenza, and I'll never have it. I'll never have any of them. I'm not willing to pay that craziness because now they're in $500, $600, $700 range. Too far gone for me now. I didn't want this to get to that. It's already more than I wanted to pay, but I was like, now or never, basically. Now or never. I have not. I was debating on getting Sensual Instinct, their version of BR540 that's more mossy and rose heavy. Sounds very interesting to me. Let's see your review. Armani Mania. I'd love to check it out myself. Replica Under the Lemon Tree. Feels like spring outside, so this fragrance goes well. Good to see you, sir. Pache de Cartier. Declaration got my decancer Jordan exclusive. Perseus. Perseus is awesome as I wanted it to be. Renaissance, Terre Hermes, Parfum, both great. They are both great. They indeed are. 10% profile across the line, but it's not a cohesive line. That's fair. The red CR7 is like Le Male. Smells like Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male. Look at it that way. Slightly more woodsy. So if you like Le Male and want an affordable version, cheers to your purchase. Personally, I prefer Game On of the three. I think it's the best one personally. It smells like a fruitier, stronger with you. Pretty good performer too, like 6 to 8 hours in longevity for me. I don't know what anybody else will get, but that's what I get. That's my favorite of the three. The blue one play cools like a more lavender heavy Invictus. And the red one, which I forgot the name of at this moment, but the red one smells like Le Male with added woods. Not quite Prada Luna Rosa Sport kind of woods, but in the realm of that. More like Prada Luna Rosa Sport than it is Le Male. Just so bland, even for a blue fragrance. That's okay. That's fair. It's unfortunate that you blind bought it, but good to see you, Noel. Glad you're able to come. Oh, I don't know. I didn't look into it because I'll probably never run out of it. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, my man. All right. Let me scroll down. Let me find a decent spot. JT, I see you, my man. I get asked that lately kind of often. I've been asked that several times recently, and nothing comes to mind. Nothing in particular comes to mind. I've been asked like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks, oddly enough. And I never seem to have an answer for it because nothing really – because the answer used to be Earthy Vetiver. I used to have one, but now I kind of find it charming and enjoy them a lot more than I used to. My palate's changed greatly on that. Like, I was nervous to try Sultan Vetiver for the longest time because I thought it was going to be horrible. It smells like fresh cut grass to me. I like it. I want a bottle. Eventually, I'll get a bottle. I used to avoid stuff like that. Terre d'Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver was the ultimate test for me because I hated that fragrance. The opening was awful. And when my taste started to change on Vetiver, I said, let me just buy it. Just buy a 50 ml and see. I'm going to just roll the dice. It was like 50-something bucks. I'm going to just do it. Opening's still a little bit of a challenge for me. It dries down gorgeous. Gorgeous, classy, dressed up, vetiver heavy fragrance, very earthy. Funky at first. Still funky at first for me, but it doesn't remind me of Raid on my skin anymore. So it used to be certain vetiver, but not really anything anymore. Good to see you, John. Good to see you, Keith. I've never tried it. So we've made it close to the bottom. So I'm going to stop right there. And we still have one more to go. H24, Vives. So I love this line. I'm curious to see what their 3rd edition is going to be like because I think the EDT was a breath of fresh air when it came out, even though some people didn't care for it because it's so metallic and synthetic. I find it to be quite a charming DNA. Smells like like citrus peel, like bergamot, the rind of the bergamot, but there's no citrus supposedly. It's metallic, a little floral. The Eau de Parfum added some earthy oak moss and strengthened it up. The EDP is superior in many ways. And then now we have what I can only imagine to be a much greener fragrance, hence by the name and the color scheme of the bottle. I don't remember the notes at all. We looked at it once on a split screen with iFragrance on the live stream, but I do not remember not one note. I would assume the Narcissus is still in there, but I got super high hopes for this because I've gotten to where I really appreciate Hermes like I appreciate Gucci, because they don't just do trend. They think outside the box and they walk their own path. Because like H24 is the Terre d'Hermes was groundbreaking when it came out, and it's a highly regarded designer line as a whole. Then you have H24, so different from everything else. What a bold play to go this synthetic and metallic and say, here it is. This is our new line. This is what we're working. This is us going forward. And they've since started to add to this line. So I'm starting to look at them like Gucci, because Gucci thinks outside the box. Some of their stuff's really polarizing and people can't stand. And I love the charm to it. And immediately I'm reminded of the DNA. I just got a whiff of it out in the air. Metallic and green. Spring fragrance. Both of the other ones are just built for spring. They work fine in the summer. Like the Eau de Parfum, I think it's dense, but I think you can get away with it year round. I've worn it in the summertime. It's better for spring, fall, winter, but I think springtime they're ideal for. All three, it seems to be, are ideal for spring. There's something different about this one. This one's very green, woodsy, but like there's something unique about the woody note that's here. There's something specific that I can't pinpoint what it is yet. It's a little familiar. There's some kind of green flowery thing going on here that's not like a girly floral flower smell. It's not a powdery, it's not rose or anything like that. I don't think it's iris. It doesn't smell like iris or jasmine. There's something floral about this that's different, like the stem of a flower, the green stalk of a flower. That's kind of what I think I'm smelling here. And it's still metallic. They did it again. This is better than the Eau de Parfum to me. Damn, what a good haul this was. This is a great haul for me. Man, the sad part is I'll never go through these bottles. That's the sad part. These are damn good. All four of these are damn good. It's almost like a bouquet of flowers fresh out the water, and it's just all the stems without the flower heads. Sounds weird, right? But that's what the hell it smells like to me. Let's go look at these notes. I quite like it. It's so different. It's so simple, but so different. No, not regular H24. Well, here we go. Let me just go to it from here. Average, above average rating. Green, fresh, fruity, synthetic citrus, pear sorbet herbs. What the hell is Psycool? I mean, that doesn't tell me anything. It's apparently the only fragrance with it. From Mon. Okay, so it's a Mon exclusive ingredient. Shout outs to Mon. All right, this is what it is. So this herbs, this is like the stalk of the flower. Man, I'm not putting them on screen, but I just want to see if they have a note breakdown, because fuck them. I'm not putting them on screen. Just out of curiosity. Same notes, herbal notes, pear, Psycool. What the hell is Psycool? Just herbs, greens, and fougères. So it doesn't specify. I like this quite a bit. Green and fresh is definitely the two main accords. I completely agree. And it doesn't come across as synthetic as the previous two, especially the Eau de Toilette. They list synthetic as one of the main accords, and it doesn't smell completely natural, but there's elements to it that do, like this stalk of the flower, the stem of the flowers, that I keep going back to, circling back to, that I smell. It smells realistic to me. It smells very authentic. So whatever's going on in this herbs accord, that's how it comes across to me. Pear sorbet. I couldn't tell you what that's supposed to smell like. I mean, naturally you would think pear, but what about it is sorbet? Is that like creaminess? This is a great fragrance. This is as green gets, green and fresh. I'm surprised to even see citrus because I don't really get much of a citrus smell. Very fresh, very green, a little woodsy. Fruity, not heavily. Kind of torn with the rating here. I'm kind of torn. I'm very torn. Okay. I didn't think I was going to match it, but it's getting the 8.5 out of 10 that Paradise Garden got. That's my two favorites here. These are my two favorites. Go figure, the two green juice fragrances. The two green fragrances in this haul. Look, not everybody's going to agree, but I think this is the best in the line. Easily. It still smells like the original DNA. It's not as metallic. It's still very fresh. It's just as fresh as the EDT, but so much greener. It loses all of the earthiness of the eau de parfum. None of that is there. None of that oak moss smell is there. It's not densely woodsy, but there's a light woodsy tone to it. This is fantastic. I like it a lot, but I also love the line. I love the other two. So far, they haven't done anything wrong for me. I quite enjoy them. I'm full on spring mode with most of my fragrances. And this is very much a spring darling kind of scent profile for me in my collection with my taste. I really like it, guys. If you like either of the first two versions of H24, you need to try this. It's simple. There's no real layers to peel back here. It's not a complex fragrance. It's very straightforward. I have a feeling it's going to be quite linear as it dries down. I'm probably going to get basically what I smell now the whole way through, but I really like what I'm smelling right now. So I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Performance, I would anticipate average to slightly above average. I have a feeling if the first two are any indicator, 6 to 8 hours is what I'm going to experience here. This is an assumption based off of the two predecessors in this line. It's going to be kind of an average projector, average sillage, pretty good longevity. That's an assumption, but that's what I get out of the other two. Obviously, I get better longevity and better sillage out of the eau de parfum, and I get better projection as it's more airy and loud with the eau de toilette. And this is kind of a balance of the two. It's damn good. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, let's get caught back up on this chat. Enclave's the best smelling fragrance I've ever come across. Got it, and within 4 hours, I've come to that conclusion. I'm not going to argue with you, sir. You know why? That's one of the best minty fragrances I've ever smelled too. Minty specifically. The spearmint oil in there is magical with the resins and oriental notes that it has. Especially like it's an incense dominant spearmint fragrance. Crazy strong too. I haven't worn it in a little while because it overwhelms my wife. Every single time I've tried one spray even, and it overwhelms her. So it's very situational when I can wear it. When I'm going to be around my wife most of the day, I can't wear it because it just overtakes her. And she told me the sad part is she thinks it smells good. It's just too strong. Enclave's phenomenal. It's one of the best the house has ever put out, in my personal opinion. Kudos on getting a phenomenal fragrance. That's fair. Not everybody likes kind of that funky musk smell. Civet kind of on the creamy side too. Smells great. Performance is terrible. So everybody's going to have a different experience with that. I don't go into it with a performance expectation. I kind of look at it. It is what it's going to be. It is what it is kind of thing. I'm just looking for a good wearing experience. Am I going to love the aroma? Is it enjoyable to wear? That's just what it comes down to me. Performance, it is what it is. I don't go into it with an expectation. Like when I buy $200, $300 fragrances, I don't think, man, I better get 12 hours. If I get 5, I get 5. It'll be 5 hours of great, hopefully a great experience. That's all I'm looking for. Just came today, excited to give it a go. I hope you enjoy it. Try it. Yeah, if you love the EDP, you're going to like this. It's a happy medium between the EDP and the EDT, I think. Never got excited for H24, but Hermes Vives sounds really interesting. And the thing is, it's actually not. It's not an interesting fragrance. I would say the other two are more interesting, but this is more pleasing. This is the most pleasing smell of the three to me. It's the simplest of the three and the most enjoyable to sniff, I think. Very simple fragrance. Very, very simple. Looking forward to it. Yes, sir. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to get it at some point. I will get it. Yeah. This one right here. Sure is. Dragon. You've got fish. There's a peacock right here. Got a blue rose. That's pretty cool. I love the colors. I love the vibrance. It goes with the name, Paradise Garden. Really is a nice canister. The Le Mans Lover canister is really nice too. They usually are. I got to say, it's got a very tattoo-esque design to it. Scent enhancer molecule. That's fair. That makes sense. First ride on the S1000R tomorrow. What's a good genre for cold motorcycle ride? I'm thinking Leighton, but that's not mean it's not a bad choice. You're not going to smell yourself. You're going to have a helmet on and be on your bike. Coco Loco. That's a vibrant fragrance. Excellent choice. Imagination by Louis Vuitton. You can't go wrong there. Hold back Tsunami with a spoon. I sold so much, then purchased so much more. It happens, man. It happens to the best of us. It is really good. I think it's the second best of the three, personally. And I've heard some people say it's their favorite. Totally get it. It's great. It's great. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 for first impressions. The wearing experience, I have a feeling, is going to be very, very enjoyable. I'm so glad I grabbed it. I'm so glad I was able to get it. This is one of my most anticipated designer pickups and designer releases of the year. I really wanted this because I love the Beau line. This is a great release. This is a great outing for them, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do in the future because it's been a hit for them, the Beau line, so it's going to probably evolve the way Le Mans has and have a ton of flankers. And I'm not going to act like I'm not trying to catch all of them because until they underwhelm me with one, I'm going to keep getting them as they release them. And even then, I'll probably look at it as a one-time gig where it was disappointing if and when it happens. I don't know. Potentially. That would make sense, right? That looks kind of like a koi. No, that's a flower, not a fish. I'm tripping. It's a flower. Potentially. Some butterflies up here. I am not certain, boss. That would make sense, though, right? With the way it looks. Gotcha. Yeah, if that's what I'm saying. If you like either of the two that came out previously, it becomes a must try for those that are fans of either of the EDT or EDP or both. It becomes a must try for people like that, I think. Well, everybody's got to have something just straightforward, easy to wear. And the thing is, for as simple of a fragrance, it doesn't remind me of other fragrances I have behind me. It reminds me of specific things. Like I said, the green stems to like roses without the rose head and the rose smell. Like the actual freshness of that green, pulling them out the water in the vase. That smell is in this bottle to me. That's what I get. Smell experience is key. After JC shared his thesis, made sense, and I look at fragrances different now. The Beau's like Pokemon. Got to catch them all. That's kind of how it is for me, yeah. Reminds me of Beach Hut Man, but Beach Hut Man is better. That's fair. I would say Beach Hut Man is better too. Profumo has been one of my signatures for years. Luckily, I purchased 15 bottles. You're gonna go through 15 bottles, man. That must be like the only thing you wear. I did a video on that. I did a full review where I talked about it. I think it's a reformulated take on Profumo because it's fresher and greener. The incense isn't as heavy. Still there, not as heavy. I think Profumo's better. I would still take Profumo over the Parfum, but I actually appreciate the Parfum. A lot of people didn't care for it. It's watered down Profumo, right? Is what they say. It still performs really good for me, and I think it's a reimagining of Profumo because Profumo means Parfum. Just reformulated and rebottled it, basically. I would think so. It just recently came out. I mean, not long ago, a couple weeks ago, it was only available in Brazil. It's kind of like how it was with Le Male Elixir. It took a little bit. People were getting it because they were buying it overseas, which is what I did. I did the same thing. I bought it from overseas because I didn't want to wait. And then slowly it ended up in, your Macy's and places like that. So people would go try them, and then people were able to buy them at the retailers. That's why it's so exciting to mess around with Fragrance Buy, because it's still not widely available, but Fragrance Buy ended up getting a stock of both of these. And, people that were on the up and up were able to get it. You got to have those notifications turned on and those drops. You got to check. I check daily. Click New Arrivals tab every day at some point. Now, granted, it's different for me. Not everybody has the time to just kind of hover over a website twice a day just to make sure if something they want to get pops up. But again, I'm also review fragrances constantly. So like I said, it's a little different for me than a lot of you that are just watching the content and purchasing fragrances and enjoying fragrances. If you're not creating content with it, it's a little bit different. It's a bit different for sure. So we're approaching the 2-hour mark. We're still 176 strong. I mean, we might as well get to the 2-hour mark. We're close enough, hour and 48 minutes. Typically, I try to stop around an hour and a half, but circumstance kind of dictated that we go longer today. Found Le Male Elixir clone called Leader Eau de Parfum for $23. Is it good? Good representation? Because I have a really good Le Male Parfum clone, Essentia L'Homme Le Parfum from Fragrance World. They did a great job. Pretty spot on to Le Male Parfum. I was impressed. Did a full review on it. I was very impressed. Oh, Kalen renewed. Okay, just saw that. My apologies, Kalen. I'm just now getting to that. So anybody else have anything before we get going? Because if not, we'll go ahead and shut it down. Maybe we got 179. But if anybody's got anything else, we'll hang out for a few more minutes. We got 11 minutes till we get to the 2-hour mark. Click skip. Said, yeah, it's decent. So if you had to throw a percentage on how accurate it is, what would you say? Is it like 80%, like pretty close? Is 90% like, damn, this is really close? 50%, like, damn, they missed the mark. It's barely there. Just curious. If you had to throw a number on it, what would you say? Chat was so busy today, I didn't even see my Hall of Fame upgrade pop up. I just clicked the starred area where the super chats and the member stuff and everything is. It's specifically that stuff, and I saw that you did it. So, yeah, sorry about that, man. I'm glad you're able to make it, Boz. Great to see you, my man. Like I said, we'll hang out for another 10 minutes. I see we got some more comments flooding in right now. Hey, late to the party. Any recommendations for a good summer rose fragrance? Send the day's Trey Nuit, the Green Irish Tweed clone. I would say Toy Boy works in that situation, but maybe not ideal. This is where Mancera comes in. Something like So Blue from Mancera. Very, very fresh, rose-forward citrus fragrance. Or Midnight Gold would work really well in this situation. Citruses, woods, a little bit of greens, and some spice based around some rose. Very fresh fragrance, but Mancera is good for that. So I would say Mancera So Blue and Mancera Midnight Gold would probably be worth getting some samples and checking out. Just like the other day, I got asked this a couple of days ago, and I immediately went to Aventus and Green Irish Tweed. If you're ever going to pull out the expensive creeds and smell like a refined gentleman who's got the money to spend on a special day, Creed Royal Oud, Creed Millesime Imperial. I don't know, it just feels like Creed is the brand for the weddings to me. It's always what pops in my head when I get asked. And Green Irish Tweed, Aventus Cologne, all those things, Royal Water, Royal Mayfair, a lot of these would work really, really well. A Rolfa, if it's a summertime wedding, it's a refined, fresh fragrance for a classy gentleman. Yep. That's the ones that come to mind. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. Glad you're able to be here. Ooh, great question. I'd like to get Valentino Born in Roma Green Stravaganza. They didn't have the men's one to come in stock when all the rest of this came in stock, so I wasn't able to get it. I'd like to get Azure Lime from Tom Ford. I want to check that one out. Vanilla Sex, I wouldn't mind getting the 30 ml. I smelled that when I was in Tampa. If you like vanilla fragrances, Tom Ford Vanilla Sex is phenomenal. I wouldn't mind getting a 30 ml of that. Let me see what else. Whenever Invictus Parfum becomes available, I mean, I bought a lot of stuff recently. That's kind of the one I have my eye on right now, the Invictus Parfum. I really want to get that. That's all that really comes to mind at the moment. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff right there we haven't even gone over yet. It just came in. And I have more fragrances coming. A bunch more that I bought. So always something, right? Never ends. On Board was kind of I got a decant. I went through a few ml of it before I kind of stopped spraying. I went through like 2 ml. I don't have to have it. Ambery, a little sweet, powdery. Kind of smells like a few other Le Male flankers, like Aviator. It smells kind of like Aviator, like it's the same fragrance in a different bottle. So if you have one, you don't need the other. I mean, it smells nice. It's okay. I gave it a pretty good rating, like 7.5, something like that. Because it's featured in a video. It was a decant video from a while back, like 2 years ago. I didn't have to have it, though. It was the same video where I had a decant of Le Male Le Parfum and fell in love. So it got big time overshadowed by Le Male Le Parfum in that video. I got 4 compliments at work today wearing it. Wearing what? Oh, Elixir. The clone for Elixir. Okay, cool. Not in the last week. It's been kind of nasty, and it's going to rain all this week too. Yeah, I've been riding. Up until a week ago, I've been riding. LV Imagination, great choice. Lila Beau Rose 31 could be good for summer. There you go. There's a recommendation. Cryptic Figure, no worries. Rocha Sloan, excellent choice. Ooh, yes, I sure can. And this is going to sound kind of funny because it's the one I wear the least. My favorite is Scandal Parfum Cologne. It's a spicy green fougere, very classy, suit and tie kind of stuff. Powerful, super uber masculine. Very special fragrance in my collection. I hardly ever wear because it's super situational to me because I like to wear it with a suit, and I don't wear suits that often anymore. Then, because I wear it, it's the one I reach for the most, Danger Parfum Cologne. Then Creation E. Then Elysium. Or instead of Creation E for you, it would be Enigma. Then Elysium is 4th, believe it or not. And then Vetiver last. And the problem is, I love all 5 of them. They're all fantastic. Still, Raja Parfum's Vetiver Parfum Cologne is my favorite Vetiver fragrance. And it's my least favorite of the 5 in the Parfum Cologne collection. But it's still my favorite Vetiver across my entire collection. So there you go. Ranking them is ranking them. They're all phenomenal. What a great set of fragrances. Very diverse. Yep. That's how I would rank them. I've never smelled Sailing Day. I'd like to smell that, Bubble Bath, and Autumn Vibes. Still haven't smelled. Which 12s? How about these Stealths? Right there. I wore those yesterday. Almost bought the Field Purples today, the Black and Field Purple. They were $150 from Nike. They had a 25% off code today. And I was like, I'm gonna hold off because I'm getting the Black and Wolf grays later in the year, and later in the month I want to get the powder blue 9s. That's why I was like, settle down. You don't need the field purples. You could get them later. They're under retail all over. So, cooler days, not really hot days, but it's great fragrance. I've gotten compliments with it, believe it or not. A little on the heavy side, though, smoky, earthy. Cooler days is what I would want to go for. It would work. I just wouldn't want a hot day. Although feminine Mancera Roses and Chocolate is awesome, too. Pink Panther, good to see you. Inicio Side Effect, good to see you, sir. Late to the live, but and we're going to shut it down in a few minutes. Wearing Dylan Blue. Speaking of summer rose fragrance, this summer I'm wearing Adonis Awakens Religiously. It's a little on the heavier side, but hey, that's great. Actually, Birth of Venus would be a great rose-based summer fragrance. A lot of citruses and fruits, very fresh. Birth of Venus from Argos would be great. That's a great answer, I think, anyways. Forgot to ask, do you have any interest in Clive Christian? I know is what you meant. I purchased my first one, Crab Apple Blossom. I was looking at the other night. Was a blind buy, but I heard it's safe. I haven't gotten around to them, but I want 1872. I've smelled it before. Old, classic Fougere stuff. Another answer for Joel. I almost bought Creed Original Vetiver and Montal Sensual Instinct last night. That's the two I'm kind of eyeing next. I've been wanting to get Original Vetiver. And Sensual Instinct, Baccarat Rouge with Oak Moss and Rose. Sounds good to me. I've been wanting to try it, so I'm just going to grab it. You can get it for like $70. Fitness Cologne was my wedding scent for a mild summer day. Solid choice. Side note, do you follow any of the Arnold? I did. I saw the upset in Classic Physique. I forgot who won Open Bodybuilding, but I've had people keeping me in the know, and then it's been all over my feed on TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff because I'm on those algorithms. My mood's pretty good for the most part. Energy's a little low later in the day usually. That's why you see me doing these. Even though it's darker outside right now, I'm still getting my caffeine in. It's 5:58 in the evening. Hormones are fine. I tend to want to snack later in the evening, but I got some sugar-free Jell-O and pickles. It's been my snacks for the last 2 weeks when I want to snack. Coffee Vetiver actually shares a lot of DNA with Born Aroma Yellow Dream. Evening all. I'm off CIs today. Aleximus Imperium Ship. That's a great fragrance. Oh, yeah, sure. Himalaya. I used to have a decant. Very musky. Clean, creamy musk. I haven't smelled it in a long time, but that's what I remember about it. Yeah, I love that's my favorite one. Oh, it lasts a long time on me. It's been a long time. I smelled it with Justin in one of our smell and rate videos that was on his channel, and I only smelled it on the test strip. Definitely like a more wearable kind of twist on Ganymede. I know it's the same perfumer. All right, so guys, let me get right here to the bottom. And Black Opium Rouge. I did see that one. It was in stock. Coffee Cherry Smoky. That sounds good. So guys, I'm going to, here we go. Let me get this one and then we'll shut it down. This one's interesting. What's your super guilty secret fragrance that you can't live without, but you don't often mention? I actually don't have one. I talk about whatever whenever they come to mind. Full size of Lemon Dolce and Care Pistachio for the fun factor. Loving them. That is some fun fragrances, especially Care Pistachio. I don't have a specific one, honestly, because I talk about fragrances on the internet. This is what I do. So I don't really have anything like a gatekeep or kind of keep to myself or anything like that. So nothing comes to mind. The Le Beau DNA as a whole, though, maybe Le Beau Le Parfum is kind of like just one of those fun fragrances when I just want an uplifting scent, something like that does it for me because it's just a fun fragrance. Lively, sweet, tropical. It's cloying, but I don't give a shit. I like it. Thanks for asking, though. But guys, on that note, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. We did 2 hours, which is longer than usual. But I do appreciate you guys coming check me out. I appreciate the super chats, the membership renewals, all that good stuff. If you guys want to check any of these out, most of them aren't in stock in the links below, but I would encourage clicking notify me and putting your email address in. Because when they do a restock, they do have a restock coming. I don't know if these specific ones are going to be there. The Le Mans Lover and Le Beau Paradise Garden. I don't know if they're getting restocked, but I do know a restock is coming. I think Wednesday or Thursday. I'll let you guys know in the live chat. But click, if you're interested in those, click notify me. Go click the link down below. Click notify me. Put your email in, because there is a restock just in general coming. I don't know if those specific fragrances are in the restock. I have not been told that or anything, but I do know that they do have a pretty big restock coming. Strong With You Tobacco is going to be one of them. So eyeballing that. So there's another one for your answer, Joel. I plan on getting Strong With You Tobacco this week. But aside from that, make sure to like this stream before you leave. Check out any of the individual review clips from today, or the first impressions video on the Sear Toxic L'Intense, which is an absolute banger. That's my scent of the day today. It's a home run of a fragrance. Right now, that's the niche release of the year to beat for me. I love it. There's going to be a lot more niche coming. It may get dethroned, but where it's at, that's my favorite niche release so far this year. I absolutely love it. Absolutely. It will be in the week rotation more than just this week, for sure. Once again, like this stream before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, for those of you that have not been able to chat because you're not subscribed and haven't been around 14 days. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good one.